Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Rule the Waves 3 as Japan. Give me 1 second to get my timer up and started. There we go. So, two things that I want to go ahead and talk about real quick before we begin. First one, let's just go ahead and take a quick look. This is something that I found fairly interesting between parts, is that we have the second largest naval budget in the entire world. We actually beat Great Britain by about 40,000, which, I mean, isn't a boatload, uh, but it's nice because, as a reminder, Britain has a thing, global naval power, if I recall correctly, I believe is the trait, that basically says that when their naval budget gets low, they get some free stuff that basically increases it. It's those. Oh, well, we can't pull it up right now, but it's those, I don't recall the exact wording, but it's something like Britain increases naval budget to maintain hegemony or something like that. Something to that effect. Whatever the exact, wording is. But that's roughly what we're looking at in that regard. The second thing I wanted to go ahead and mention is that I designed what will potentially be the last armored cruiser of this sort of type of design with 10-inch guns. Depends a little bit on technological advancements and the like, but this is probably roughly what we're looking at for probably the last design of this type. Basically anything after this, again, depending upon technological advancements, we may not even build this design as it is probably going to look like what we did to the Netians, where they went down to 8-inch auto-loaded guns. And that is, I don't believe the Netians have missiles, though, do they? I could be wrong. Yeah, no, the Netians didn't get missiles. They got dropped down, I think, because of weight requirements. But anything else is probably going to end up with a similar thing happening to them at some point down the road. Just because we don't need to. Although, admittedly, we seem to be having some issues here. Really? That seems weird. That you're saying illegal caliber / gun number change in turret. All I did was, literally, you're complaining about it when all I did was change the caliber. Which, in theory, I should be able to do. I'm really not quite sure why you're complaining about that. If you want me to, like, get rid of them entirely or something, which I sort of question your sanity on. Okay, maybe the Takaus won't get that because evidently the game has decided that that's actually an illegal change. Which I feel doesn't make any sense. Are we actually not allowed to go down at all from 10-inch guns? Really? If we use quad turrets? Really? That seems like some bull. Really? If you use quad turrets, you cannot go down from 10-inch guns. Really? I never knew that. Then again, I don't usually drop the gun size. Okay, well, maybe that theoretical design as the last CA may not end up being with 10-inch guns because evidently we can't go down. If we use quad turrets, which also, make note of this for future series because evidently I need to remember that. And we just won't design CAs with quad turrets if we expect that design to last into the missile age. Because, yeah, we don't really need 10-inch guns in the missile age so much. In fact, even if we just look at the almanac real quick, you'll notice that most countries aren't really so much building dreadnoughts anymore. They're not quite as good for the cost anymore. Instead, a lot of countries are focusing a lot more on CVs and CVLs. I mean, the US is still building, 2 more dreadnoughts, but that's probably mostly just because they got fuck you money, basically. And they can get away with it. The rest of the countries, however, don't really have the budget to do that, so any that they have still exist, but they're not really building anymore. But let's go ahead and continue on finally with the game. Oh, yep, here. This is the event I was talking about. Intelligence report. Great Britain. The government of Great Britain has increased naval spending to keep its naval preeminent. And also, give me 1 second. Okay, we're back. I had to clear a notification that was getting on my nerves. Let's see. China tensions reduce. Well, so they increased and then reduced due to historical enmity, and then realizing, oh shit, we can't fight them. Tensions with Russia decreased due to the recent war. Wonderful. Thank you, Russia, for, backing down. I wish you would do that more often. Of course, unfortunately, as a result of that, the Diet says you don't need money. But I wanted to have a larger budget than Britain. I think we had it for like a couple of turns at best. Rebellion in Cyprus continues. Yet now Britain has a larger budget than us again. Thanks, guys. Let's halt the Akagi and the Unebe. I kind of want to build up our treasury fund just a little bit more. Also, I probably want to upgrade our dock size as well. That would be a good idea. I don't know why the game is messing up like this and not pulling up this menu correctly all the time. Prime Minister suggests that no. Screw you, Prime Minister. This guy's an idiot. World Cruise. Send some of our newest and most powerful ships. Working on the problem of improved guidance system, but success so far eludes them. Italian scientists have invented improved ASW torpedoes. Britain has mastered the principles of PBX warheads and Higgins boats. Why do I feel like we might already have Higgins boats? Do we? Or am I wrong? Yeah, we already have Higgins boats. Granted, I guess for the British, they don't necessarily need to put any real emphasis onto amphibious operations, because they already have territory basically everywhere. So it's not so much an issue for them, like it is for us. But I think we already have PBX, don't we? Is that under torpedoes? I don't think it is. No, it is probably under explosive shells. No, we don't have PBX warheads, unless it's under missile tech. What was it called again? Yeah, PBX warheads. So that's probably under missile tech, because warheads would imply missiles. We do not have that yet, actually. For some reason, I thought we might have. Don't know why. Either way, moving on. Let's go ahead and build up our dock size. We managed to just barely eke out making money still. Again, for some reason, this event is not popping up like it should. Germany and Russia, their alliance has expired. That's wonderful for us. Rod fragmentation warhead increased the AA and SAM hit chances. I'm a little confused on the AA hit chance one. I can kind of get SAM. Not so much AA. Also, we don't have SAMs yet, right? Am I wrong about that? I'm pretty sure we don't have SAMs yet, so how the hell are we increasing the hit chance of something we don't even have? Outside of, it being applicable there as well. Once we get it. Monopulse radar is eluding us. Nakajima has a brand new naval patrol aircraft design. Faster, more range, bit tougher, larger bomb loads across the board. I love you, Nakajima. Rebellion breaks out in Sumatra. Suck on them apples. Okay, well, I would like to get intel on the Admiral Nakamov, if you don't mind, game, because I'm curious what you mean by more AA guns. Does Russia maybe not have radar director? I feel like Russia may not have radar director. Can we look at that design? Out of curiosity, it's a CA of some sort. No, we cannot. We can't look at that one that's being rebuilt, but let's see if we can look at the sister ship, the Kronstadt. The Kronstadt is 12 medium AA and 19 light AA. Now, I don't believe the game tells you if the AA is radar directed. No, it does. So, okay, as far as we know, the Russians do not have radar directed medium AA. Therefore, yes, they might have more medium, or they might have more AA guns on their ships. But guess what? Our AA is better, with less guns. So, take that as you will. Now, one thing I kind of sort of want to potentially do here, just partly because improves effectiveness potentially. Let's go ahead and do some refits real quick. Very cheap. Well, I was hovering over the wrong box. Very cheap and not time consuming at all. Now, we could give these better radars if we wanted to, just because. But I don't see a reason to give better radar for a Corvette. So we're not going to. Also, yes, these are ones that... did I forget to give them colonial service? No, they should have colonial service because it shows the C over here. Which means that they have colonial service. I just, for some reason, it's not showing as checked here. Which is weird, because it should, but... I guess we'll just try to ignore that. So these will give us a little bit of minesweeping and ASW capabilities wherever these guys decide to hang out. It's not super important, but it is nice to have. We can, also upgrade the guns anyway, because why not? Increases the time a little bit and increases the cost a little bit, but it's not significant, and there's really no harm in doing it. We'll drop the tertiary guns, because it literally does you no good to have them. I could make these dual purpose if I wanted to. Is there a reason to make these dual purpose? Not really. Not really. It just increases costs significantly for the rebuilds. And it's not like they need the heavy AA factor, and it's not like it's going to help either. These things should not be getting into fights where it would matter in the... Oh, hey, they had a nice big upgrade button. Well, that's nice. I just noticed it. Must have been added with this most recent update. And I just never noticed it because we haven't had a reason to use it. Well, that's probably the reason. Now, the question I have... is it worth keeping you on coal? And again, I really wish maintenance was listed here. I really wish the maintenance cost at the end was listed here, because that would be very nice to look at. Because I don't know if you will be cheaper, potentially, on maintenance cost if I gave you oil. But considering that these 1924 foreign station ships do have oil and turbine, and they are 24 versus 56, I feel like it might be. I feel like it might make you cheaper, but the thing is it will be more expensive out the gate for the rebuild to do that. You know what? Screw it. We'll do it. We will do it. God, it's going to take 10 months for that. Luckily, we have a fair few spares, so they should be able to fill in those gaps without any major issues. Let's go ahead and do this. I think it'll make stuff a little bit cheaper. Not significantly, but hey, you know, every little bit helps. And besides, these technically needed a refit anyway, so, you know, why not? So those will take 10 months to do. I don't want to do too many of those Corvettes all at once, particularly because, you know, tensions are still a little up there with Russia. God damn it, game, seriously. America has a new light jet fighter. Wonderful. It's faster than our fastest. Good for them. Cyprus continues. Rebellion in Sumatra continues. Germany is refitting the Graf Spee with more AA guns. Okay. Is it really more AA guns, though? I think that's the question. Also, I don't know why tensions with Germany went up after that. Temporary setback in figuring out the concept of a supercarrier. And we are well on our way to understanding 3,500-ton displacement destroyers. That sucks because we just designed some new 3,000-ton destroyers. Improved guidance system. Well, I say we just designed. They're also, you know, in production. Let's see. Improved guidance systems. Success so far still eludes them. Rebellion in Sumatra continues. Rebels in the French possession. There was a rebellion in the Antilles? I completely forgot about that one. What about Cyprus? You didn't tell me anything about Cyprus this time. I'm assuming that that is still ongoing. Because you didn't tell me that they gained independence or that they were crushed. But again, you also didn't tell me it was continuing, so a little hard to tell. Our 15-inch guns are superior to the Chinese guns of the same caliber, as if I needed that intel. Especially because I don't think we use 15-inch guns on anything. No, we're 12, 14, and 16. So that is absolutely useless information for me. Let's see, who needs a refit? Well, so you don't have radar directed. You guys do, but the cows have not gotten radar yet. So let's make you guys radar directed. I only want 8. Give you 5 on the radar limit. And then fill in as much as we can here with some more light AA, because why not? Everything else is already as good as it can be. Now again, the usual question is, do we stick with the 5-inch secondary guns, or do we drop down to the 4-inch auto-loaded? And as per usual, the answer seems to be drop down to the 4-inch auto-loaded, because 50 versus 67 is a fairly noticeable difference. Also add in, we can increase the amount of rounds per gun, still have a ton of weight remaining. We can upgrade further the light AA mounts, but that's going to be reconsidered in many ways because I want to put missiles on. Which means we do need to now take away some of that light AA. So, okay, there we go. We're also going to go ahead and get that upgrade to spacious accommodations out of the way now, so we don't have to worry about it in potentially a month, potentially in a year. Again, I know it's some... I don't recall if it is directly once you jump to 1950 or if it is just some time in the early 50s. All I recall off the top of my head is that at some point the game says you need spacious accommodations, otherwise your ships suffer penalties. And I don't want to suffer those penalties. So let's get spacious accommodations ASAP. If we have the ability, why not? So another set of expensive rebuilds. That'll basically suck up all of our monthly balance. And by basically, I mean it will, in fact, suck up our entire monthly balance. Oh, here we go. Rising prosperity leads to increasing personnel costs. So everything's going to be more expensive now. Watch our monthly balance potentially plummet from 374 being lost a month. Wonderful. Yokosuka has a new medium bomber, and it is significantly better than our current one. It is roughly twice as fast on max speed. That's not quite accurate, but close enough. But it has less range across the board. Speed or range? I kind of prefer the range, but you can make up for the range, Yokosuka, with new designs. Or, just design improvements. But also, 2 3,000-pound bombs. If they hit, they hurt. But 4 1,600-pound bombs also means you have more chances to hit. Because theoretically, you're dropping all bombs at once. So if you drop all 4 when you're level bombing, you have a chance, theoretically, of hitting, landing 4 hits. And if you land all 4 hits, that is significantly more total, tonnage there, compared, not tonnage, but whatever, weight, compared to the 2 3,000s. Not significantly, but hey, well, actually, I say not significantly. That's not true. Well, actually, yeah, it's not significant. If both these hit, it's 6,000 pounds. If all 4 of these hit, it's like, what, 64? Yeah, like 6,400, so it's like an extra 400 pounds. It is a bit more maneuverable, though, which might help. I think maneuverability does impact the accuracy of things like torpedoes, bombs, etc. Okay, Yokosuka, you win. I will give you that. Britain crushes the rebels in Cyprus. It doesn't say they were eradicated, though, like it did for the French rebels in the Antilles. So, I don't know if that makes a difference, or if it's just, we changed the wording a little bit. But it has no real impact on the chance of a subsequent rebellion. There are rumors that Russian scientists have trouble mastering the principles of flight deck washdown system. But French scientists have invented the carrier battle group concept. Okay, yeah, so that basically our monthly balance, our losses there doubled because of personnel costs. There's a whole bunch of destroyers entering service, which frees up a boatload of money. Regional war is imminent on the Asian mainland. Nope, sorry. A strong arms industry is a guarantee of our national security. We should sell to anyone who wants to buy. Kawasaki has a new naval patrol aircraft. It is slower with less range and a smaller bomb load. How about no? There we go. That frees up a boatload of money. Oops. Let's go ahead and unhalt those buildings. Those are still building. Let's see. Who else needs to upgrade and get their fancy schmancy radar directed? You do. But can you do it? Is the question. And I'm leaning towards the answer being no. The answer is a resounding no. You cannot possibly afford to do it, unfortunately. The weight is the thing that kills it. So we need to cut back a little bit on the medium AA guns. Which, I mean, I guess we'll survive. Can I do center mounts, actually, out of curiosity? I could have sworn this could have used center mounts. It can, actually, yes. Why were we not using center mounts on this? Oh, we probably didn't have center mounts on 7,000 ton light cruisers at the time. Yes, that would make perfect sense. So, yeah, let's swap out the setups there real quick. There we go. Like that. That works. This also allows us to increase the number of torpedoes by 2. And also, because these are center lines, it means we can fire them from both sides. Now, one question that is asked is, do we maybe just want to do a single center line torpedo? And with missiles? Can we do that? We can, but I'd have to basically drop the AA complement. So that's 48. Game. This is actually a bit of a tough decision, actually. I think we're just not going to bother with the missiles, honestly. I'm thinking that's probably going to be the best bet. No missiles for us on the Takachiho. It's just not quite equipped for it. I mean, I could drop the mines, but I want the mines, so we're not going to do that. Yeah, this is as good as we're going to be able to do it with the Takachiho. Takachiho, unfortunately, just does not have a ton of weight. The Yoshino needs better radar. You probably actually can't do this. In all reality. You guys, I'm pretty sure you have to be on the sides, right? Yeah, 7,000 tons is the cutoff for centerline torpedoes, which of course is an advantage of designing CLs as 7,000 tons at max. Is precisely that reason. I'm not seeing a way to free up that weight outside, and we'd have to drop all the torpedoes to do that. Well, we basically, well, we don't technically have to. It's just not particularly easy to do it if I don't. Is the more accurate way to say it. Or I drop the mines. No, I will have to drop the mines entirely as well anyway. Because I want the better radar, although I guess strictly speaking, it's not necessary that you have the best radar. Do you max out at 27 knots? I believe you do. No, you don't. What's your max speed? 30 knots. Yeah, I ain't freeing up enough weight to get you up there. That's just not possible. Drop some of the torpedoes a little bit. Oh, I feel like this cuts down a little too much for my liking on the weights, or on the armament. That is about Well, okay, I will say 14,500. That drops you down to 11, but then I can auto load these as well. What can I do to make this work? Actually, that takes you over the top side. Okay, I'd have to drop you down to 4-inch guns, which, I mean, I don't have a significant issue with. Can I do this without doing a rebuild of machinery? Or a replace machinery, rather? Looking like a maybe. Can I keep the mines and do this? Not quite. Not quite. We'll have to decrease the mine loadout slightly. There we go. You're losing roughly like 2,500 yards of range, give or take. Which kind of sucks. Well, I think we'll survive, because that's... well, oh, shoot. No, we don't have the spacious. Shoot. Okay. Okay, yep. That's really the only way to do it, which I'm not a huge fan of, and I don't really want to drop the secondary armament. Oh well. Let's go ahead and get that in the, get that going. Let's reserve fleet those so that we can free up some budget. Also, let's go into here and start adding the brand new destroyers to fill in for previous losses. These are sort of all over the place, but they are hopefully generally good enough. Now, I know we did get the 3,500. I didn't make a big deal out of it, but we did. We're going to diesel those because I'd be stupid not to, in my opinion. No. You're doing full 4 depth charge throwers, game. I don't know what you're thinking, only doing 2. I mean, it's only a difference of 1 ASW value, but 1 ASW value is important nonetheless. I want to maintain that 36 knot speed as a standard, if you don't mind. We cannot give you torpedo protection, which isn't surprising. That's expensive. I can give you 5 medium AA, which is... no, I'll give you 4. I reread the manual a little bit. So 4, after 4, you get diminishing returns. After 8 is when the game says it's redundant. So we're going to give you 4 because I can't give you 8, is basically my philosophy, which I realize that is not what we were trying to do with the Yoshino that's being refit, the Kasagi, the last of the Yoshinos. Yeah. Let's see. How much ammo can I give you? We'll do about 300 rounds per gun. Gives you a boatload of ammo, basically. I'll give you minesweepers. Now, the thing is, because in theory I want to build you guys in fairly large quantities, do I give you minesweeping gear? Like we did with the Nozakis? I think we gave the Nozakis minesweeping gear, did we not? No, we didn't. Okay, never mind then. So maybe we don't do that. Maybe we don't do that. That works. I guess fill in the rest of the weight with light AA. Okay, and this is cutting it right at the edge. I think this works. The only question is, do we do 5-inch guns or do we try to squeeze in auto-loaded 4-inch guns? I'm still generally a fan of 5-inch guns on destroyers, although admittedly on a destroyer, I guess a 4-inch gun is just fine. Add in that if we go down to 4-inch guns and auto-load them, we can still add a boatload of extra ammo, and by a boatload I mean we can max out the ammo at 500 rounds per gun. And still have 76 weight to spare. What do we use it for? Nothing. Well, that's not true. We can go to 5 torpedo tubes for what little that's worth. Cannot go to 37 knots. It is slightly cheaper build cost to stick with oil and turbine, but I kind of prefer to have the spare weight because spare weight helps to keep ships afloat when they're flooding. If you have negative weight remaining, your ship will sink faster. That is, just the truth. We do not have more tubes yet, which, isn't surprising. I wish we did, though. Torpedo reloads, yes or no? It's a destroyer. They don't exactly do a great job taking hits, and you only have the one tube. I think I'm going to say let's do it. This is going to be... I realize we just got the Nozakis designed. They were literally just designed like last year. Year before. Because they were something like, 16 months to build. But it's already better, in my opinion. I'm just still contemplating. You know what? No, we're gonna go with the 4-inch guns. 4-inch guns are just fine for most of what destroyers are intended for shooting at. 5-inch guns, sure, they can pen, over 4.5 inches of belt armor at 1,000 yards. But guess what? At that range, 1, they should probably be firing torpedoes. And 2, there's basically nothing that they should generally be fighting that has 4.5 inches of belt armor. Generally speaking, destroyers' primary targets are going to be other destroyers which have no armor. Or it's going to be CLs, which have a little bit of armor, but will generally max out at 3 inches of belt armor. And by generally, I mean they do max out at 3 inches of belt armor. You cannot go higher than 3 inches of belt armor on a CL. The game just will not let you. And the AI generally does like 2.5 inches. It's only me as the player that will say, let's do, 3 inches of belt armor because it will make you harder to sink for a CL's primary target, which is often going to be destroyers. So, that's the trade-off. Well, I say trade-off, not really a trade-off, but that's just the design philosophy, rather. So yeah, let's do this. 4-inch auto-loaded guns from now on destroyers, 500 rounds per gun, so they're just going to be shooting rounds like there's no tomorrow. 4 medium AA radar directed, 2 light AA guns. I believe when you get CIWS, I believe it's 2. I think it's after 2 you get diminishing returns, and at 4, or if you try to go over 4 is when the game starts saying, oh, well, that's redundant. Which, I mean, I guess kind of makes sense. A CIWS, if you do 2, you got 1 in the front and 1 in the rear probably, and it's not quite 180 degrees, it's probably, more like 120 or so, depending upon, it's kind of like this, the firing arc. So if you have one in the front and one in the rear, generally speaking, outside of like straight down the middle, it's going to be able to track and engage targets. So yeah. So this is what, like 270? Yeah, I think this is like a 270-degree firing arc. So yeah, CIWS is probably roughly going to be similar when it comes to engagement capability. So yeah, 2, I can understand that. 2, after 2 you get diminishing returns, and after 4 the game just says, what the hell are you doing? So let's go ahead and design this. We will probably not be building those for a little while because we don't exactly have tons of free money. Burning a hole in our pocket. Great for the Russians. They've designed a medium bomber with a heavier bomb load, but is it better than... Oh, Sumatra gained independence. Well, all the more reason for us to invade Sumatra now. I got distracted there for a second. As I was saying, good for the Russians. They've designed a medium bomber with heavier bomb load, but does it have the range? Can it carry missiles? It probably can. Let's take a look at what Russia has for medium bombers. We don't know is actually the answer. We do not know. They may have it, they may not. Also, I like how the game says that it's rumored to have a heavier bomb load. Well, it would be great if we had intel on that, don't you think, guys? Oh, also, what do we have for light jet fighters? Who has the fastest? The absolute fastest. Britain. Oh, no, America. 560. Hot damn. Do we maybe go ahead and look for a new... Did we look for a new light jet fighter already? Advancements for that is going to be pretty damn fast, generally speaking. Oh, I like this dive bomber. Good reliability. Hot damn. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to do range and speed. Usually I do speed and range, I believe. But we're going to do range and speed this time. I want good range and I want it to be speedy. Let's go ahead and queue up another Unebe because we have a little bit of budget left. Just a little bit, not a whole lot, but it's something. As an interview who we see fighting, we're going to say Britain. Let's check relations. Britain, how are you doing with everybody else? Oh, Russia's actually upset with you. A little bit. They're on par with us when it comes to how upset we are with each other. Do we maybe get an alliance with Russia to go to war with Britain? Probably not. And Russia's not a good ally for fighting Britain anyway. But we could theoretically do that. It's just not my first pick. France and Italy are probably going to go to war potentially in the near future. Spain and Italy also aren't doing too hot. Italy doesn't have anything I want, and unfortunately Spain doesn't have a lot of base capacity in the Mediterranean, I believe, so we'd have a bit of a hard time helping them in a war against Italy, but we could probably send a token force of maybe some cruisers just to say, hey, we're here, and help them out. But we'll probably be relying mostly on our submarine fleet to just wreck Italian shipping. But nonetheless, we're going to go ahead and say that we see Britain as our most likely enemy in a future war. Because I'm absolutely fucking pissed that we got screwed over by diplomacy. Oh, they were looking to make some minor concessions and, border territories. Great. Guess what they decide to do? Give us nothing. How did you manage to screw that up, guys? They wanted to give us stuff to end the war. And we hadn't even successfully invaded Singapore yet. We were still fighting over it. While defending Burma, but, that's besides the point. Close to mastering monopulse radar, wonderful. Improved anti-missile jamming, but this is complicated stuff. Okay, we'll survive. go to the build screen. We will queue up 3 because that is about the most I can afford. And by about the most, I mean that is, in fact, the most we can afford right now. That was my timer that just went off, but let's go ahead and, play a bit more. Spain has decided not to renew our security agreement. I think Spain is silly for that because I don't know who they think is going to help them in a war against Italy. Well, I guess France. But probably not. Oh, shit. Well, we might have a repeat of one of our earliest wars, Britain and France against Japan. France and America decide not to renew their alliance. Can we maybe get an alliance with America again? That'd be great. Reserve fleet those to free up budget. The Kitsushimas need to go in for a refit because they don't have radar directed yet. I pretty much guarantee because they're a 1944 build. Close to mastering PBX warheads. There's our monopulse radar, so search radar 5. Reserve fleet those. Can I send you guys in for a quick one? It's unfortunately not going to be quite as quick as I was hoping for. Yeesh. No, I'm going to stick with the 5-inch guns on you guys. I'm just going to have to... well, it looks like you're going to actually have to do replace machinery to be able to do this, and even then we're going to have to cut back on... well, a lot of stuff, actually, it looks like. Shoot, that's no fun. How about we drop the torpedo reloads, eh? Does that... yeah, okay, that makes it affordable. That makes it affordable. Well, actually, no, it doesn't, because I still haven't given you the best radar yet. And we'll keep that at 7, replace machinery, go to diesel. Still a little bit over. Then we'll go down to 4 medium AA. I'm really not a fan of going down to 4 medium AA, but, if it's what we got to do, it's what we got to do. We'll survive. I think helicopters are cheaper than seaplanes. Partly because helicopters don't require a catapult, of course. Should also be noted. That's just one of the reasons that's the case. But yeah, I think this is what we're going to have to do for this. This is going to be a pricey rebuild. And there's 5 of them. So that's about 5,000 there for 10 turns. Ooh, that's a pretty penny. We can afford it, but it's a pretty penny. Let's do a few more turns because we're going to free up quite a bit of budget with the Tacaos finishing their rebuilds. Oh, I didn't realize the dock size was also almost done. So that'll free up about 1,000 as well there. Disarmament conference. Tell them to go pound sand. Carrier battle group. Single super carrier protected by a ring of escorts. I like it. But I don't think we've invented super carriers, have we? Not that I can see, at least. So, great job, guys. We've come up with a, fleet concept that we technically can't do Because we don't have the requisite ship design. Wasn't it the French or something who were, working on that? Can we steal it from the French? I mean, I don't know if I want to steal French technology necessarily. Are we still maxed out at the same size? No, we can now do 54,000. Thank you, game. Or excuse me, 50,400. It's not significantly more, but it is a little bit, and it helps. Okay, game, now, just out of general curiosity, would I be able to do this? Probably not, I'm feeling like. I'm feeling like you're gonna say no to this game. I really am. And it disappoints me that you say no. It really disappoints me that you say no to this. But I can't exactly fault you for saying no. Okay, yeah, let's... who is it? It is the Shokaku. Let's grab the Shokaku design. Okay, so we're at 90. We can't go up yet. But also this hasn't taken into account that we can build larger. We can get to 93, which I'm not a fan of an odd number like that. Going to be upfront with you about that game. 2-inch belt. Ooh, not quite 95, and I would like to get to 95 if we can. Because that's a nice, good number to work with. I think we need just a little bit more technology. Just a little bit. Almost there. Almost, not quite. I'll do 94. I can live with 94 aircraft. But is it really worth designing a whole new CV for 4 extra aircraft? Probably not. Probably not. So I think we're just going to have to hold off. Hopefully, I don't know if there's another tech for diesel that makes it cheaper for large ships. I'd assume there is, but I don't know off the top of my head. I really don't. Okay, those Corvettes finished their stuff. Oh, here we go. We're close to mastering super carriers. Wonderful. PBX warheads. Torpedo damage. Oh, okay, yes. Warheads, I guess, makes sense also for torpedoes. I just kind of forgot about that. Britain increases their naval budget. I can't fault them for that because I literally told them I wanted to beat their ass. So, of course, they're going to do that. Class. Where are my... Here we go. Put you guys onto foreign station. Grab the ancient minesweepers, although admittedly the minesweepers don't need it quite as much as the sub-hunters. I'm sorry, game. What the fuck is with this sub-hunter? I swear they had anti-submarine stuff. Did it just like all fall off the ship? Apparently it must have just all fallen off the ship unless I designed these before we got the stuff. Did I do that? Really? I might have. I feel silly if I did. But nonetheless, let's slap this stuff. Oh yeah, you guys can't do 4 depth charge throwers because you're not 900 tons. So here we go. This is going to double your ASW value because you're going to go from having, just the fact that you're a ship with guys who have a pair of binoculars to that. I think corvettes do need to also be spacious, so let's go ahead and get that as well. This is dirt cheap to do in terms of cost, but it is time consuming still at 10 months because we're also replacing the machinery. Also, actually, now that I think about it, did this decrease your maintenance cost? It did. You guys went from like 50 something, I think it was, down to 32. That is wonderful. Although admittedly that could just be because you were obsolete. So that's also a factor. It may have just been because you were obsolete. I guess we can check that out. We'll just do the cheapest rebuild we can here because we can technically do it without doing anything fancy. I will give you mines because why the hell not? Give you a little bit of mine warfare capability. Because the more mines we can dump on the ground, the better. Actually, out of curiosity, does this increase or decrease anything? Just decreases the build cost. Okay, that's fine with me. Again, I keep wanting to give you 4 because that's just my default, but no, you guys can only do 2. Also, replace your guns because, yeah, you're still running around with Victorian guns. I think I forgot to do that with the foreign station ships, so they're still running around with Victorian era turrets on their ships, but yeah, that's fine, I guess. Technically, I can give you... Geez, I can give you... Oh, I was going to say the full 8, but that's not true. I can give you 4, which you don't need. There's literally no reason to give it to you. Yeah, we're just going to stick with the regular limit of radar 2 on these guys, because they don't... If radar increased, like, ASW values somehow, which wouldn't really quite make sense, but whatever. If it did, I could understand doing it. You can't have catapults. Yeah, I'm... Oh, I can't wait till we get helicopters. Helicopters will be nice for these sub-hunters, because then we can actually give them helicopters. We can't give them seaplane carriers, because we can't give them catapults, and they don't get the benefits of any ASW value change with seaplanes. I guess seaplanes actually don't give you ASW value anyway. It's helicopters once you get them. But okay, yep, here we go. This is a fairly quick and inexpensive rebuild. I think I'm going to go ahead and queue this up for the other sub-hunters as well. We got the time, and with it being cheap, we can do it without any major losses. So you can still only do 2 of those. Give you 6 mines, because why not? This one's a bit more expensive, not by much. And we can free up a little bit of cost by getting rid of the secondary guns, because what good are they doing you? Okay, those are the 1907s. Let's get the 1920s, which can now have 4 depth charge throwers. Good for them. And we'll upgrade your main guns, because why not? There's absolutely no reason to not upgrade them. We'll give you 12 mines, because, again, why not? Okay, there we go. Now, one question is, do we go ahead and upgrade all of the 1939 designs as well? And I'm kind of inclined to say, why the hell not? There's not really a reason not to. You know, actually, now that I think about it, one thing I'm curious about... Well, no, so you guys only ever get sunk by subs in a spirited gun duel, so never mind. I was going to say, for some reason I was thinking submarines, because I know submarines, you know, they can get shot, you know, they can get sunk by patrol boats and stuff. So I was rethinking, you know, whether or not to add AA, but then I remembered, oh no, you guys only get sunk by spirited gun duels, so it doesn't really do any good to have AA guns. Although theoretically, 40mm Bofors would probably tear through a fair few submarines, especially, you know, 40s, 50s submarines. But no, okay, so let's do this as well. Oh, yep. Don't forget to give you your complimentary 12 mines for what little they're worth. It's 3 turns to do those. I do not see us being involved in a war in 3 turns while those are still being built. That is the only reason that I'm doing it. Because the chances of being dragged into a war are slim to none. Did I not design you guys? Did I not select everybody? I thought I did. No, okay, no, never mind. It was, yeah, it was the sub-hunters, that's why. Okay, you guys do have mine-sweeping gear. Let's give you mines. Get rid of those. This is... Oh, you have tertiary guns. Why do you have tertiary guns? I question that, game. I question that. But I will let you go. Do I want to give you... So this is still a net increase in ASW value if I give it to you. You go from 1, which I'm not quite sure where that's coming from beyond that you're a Corvette that has a 16 knot speed. Maybe that's why. This is still a net increase of going to 3. Oh, I forgot to do spacious upgrades on the other ones. Oh well. We'll just have to remember to do that once it becomes a concern. Yeah, there's literally no reason for me to not give you guys anti-submarine weapons. Because it, again, is a net increase. You go from 1 to 3. Is it significant? No. You could go to 6 if I didn't have minesweeping gear, but you're intended to be a minesweeper, so you're going to keep the minesweeping gear. You're just going to get the free ASW gear as well. Let's just go ahead and refit all these Corvettes. Just real quick. I could do this off screen, but I don't feel like it, so we're not doing it off screen. You go to 5, upgrade the guns, because why not? Also, late dreadnought as well. Also, this aft gun is not quite in the right position. There we go. Now it looks proper. Let's see. So you go from 2 to 5. That's a decent uplift in my opinion. Do it. That one's a bit more expensive, but still not time consuming, so it's all good. 1939s. You guys are smaller than the other ones. We go back down to 600 tons, which is fine for a minesweeper. Subhunters, no. Subhunters have to be at least 900 tons, just so they can get the 4 depth charge throwers. And that's going to be everything. So you go from 2 to 4. So that's a nice doubling of your ASW value for basically no cost. And hey, you guys will be able to contribute a little bit to the ASW value in the active fleet, because those are the guys that are always in the active fleet. Okay, wonderful. Now, again, I could also, probably do the refits on these foreign stations, which I probably should do, all things considered. But I think I'll do the foreign stations off screen. So that's going to be it for this part. We went a bit longer than my timer, about 20 minutes over. But that'll be it for this part. I will see you all next time. We are looking like we're apparently gearing up potentially for a war with either or both Britain and Germany. If we go to war with Britain, we are at war with France again. What are relations looking like real quick? Germany and Russia aren't too friendly with each other. Britain is friendly with basically everybody except us. France is not friendly with Italy. So Italy could be a potential ally in the event of a war with a combination, a Franco-British alliance. Easiest way to describe it. Or maybe Anglo-French alliance, I don't know. Depends on how you want to go about it. Who you want to say is, I guess, the dominant partner there, which is basically Britain anyway. So maybe we'll just call it the Anglo-French alliance. Let's see. Russia, I don't care for, but their tensions are up there as little as well. But that means Germany or Italy potentially. America is friendly with everybody. Actually, surprisingly friendly with everybody. Although I'm not too surprised about these three up here. China, Spain, and Italy. America has literally nothing to do with any of them. Spain is potentially an enemy against Italy, although tensions aren't bad with Italy, so that's not an issue for us. So yeah, we're probably going to go to war with, potentially, in the next couple of parts. We'll see how tensions go. Germany, and then the Anglo-French alliance. Potentially both even, which would kind of suck. I think we could probably eke out a win there. It would not be a fun fight, but we could probably do it. Especially if we could hold out till somebody goes to war with them as well, which probably won't happen knowing my luck. But yeah, so I will see you all next time. Until then, goodbye and farewell.